It's now time for Energy Insights, where you get an inside view and local perspective of all the oil and gas progress going on in the Mid-Ohio Valley. This program is brought to you by the Southeastern Ohio Oil and Gas Association and can be heard every Saturday on WMOA AM 1490, FM 101.3, JAWS Country FM 100.9, and ESPN Radio AM 630 and FM 92.9. Here's Johnny Wharf, your local host.
Energy Insights on a Saturday morning. Dr. Bob Chase is our guest, and our program is brought to you by the Southeastern Ohio Oil and Gas Association. Dr. Bob, how you doing, man?
Doing great, Johnny. Good to be here with you this morning.
Yeah, rolling into December, or not into December, but almost out of December of a year. Can you give us perspective? I think that most people look at their heating bill, gas prices. They look at the gas they put in their car as it relates to one going up, one going down, or how does that affected by what's going on in the industry of oil and gas?
Yeah, that's a great question. As you know, prices have gone up dramatically over the last 2 or 3 years. And the reason for that is the current administration, and I'm not demeaning the administration now, just talking about facts, hasn't been necessarily favorable to the oil and gas industry. Consequently, the amount of money being invested in drilling new wells has gone down over the last 2 to 3 years. And when investment goes down, that means that we're not replacing the oil and gas we're taking out of the ground. So consequently, the price goes up. Higher prices encourage drilling, and we're starting to see a little bit more activity in Ohio and West Virginia, but not to the level that I actually would have expected. My personal opinion is that over the next 30 years, we're still going to need oil and gas in a big way over the next 30 years. And consequently, we're going to need people coming into the industry. And if I had young kids in high school today, I would encourage them to consider going into the energy business, into petroleum engineering and geology and geophysics, because there are going to be some really good jobs in that area for a long time to come, because we're still going to need this energy.
Dr. Bob Chase is our guest here on Energy Insights, a retired professor, Marietta College. I want to just step back to where you were at the beginning of this, your thought, and that is, if we're looking at administrations, and if they change every 4 years, good, bad, or indifferent, and one is favorable to the oil and gas industry and one isn't, are there enough nonpartisan issues that the oil and gas industry is working on that they can at least move forward instead of move forward and move back?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, big companies, your companies like Chevron, Exxon, and then some of the mid-sized companies like we have operating in Ohio, West Virginia, like Antero, for example, or EQT out of Pittsburgh.
Sure.
They have a long-term view of things, and they continue to make investments in the industry because they know that the need for oil and gas is going to be there for a long term. Yes, we're moving more towards some green energy areas like wind and solar, which I think is great. But we need natural gas for more than just heating homes. We need it for making fertilizer, for example. We need oil for making plastic. We need oil for the blacktop on our roads. That need is going to be there even if we move away from fossil fuels for heating. So companies focus on that, and their focus on the long term allows them to continue to invest. And prices are going to, I think, remain firm for quite a while into the future, and that gives them the incentive to keep investing.
Powerful, good information. I want to thank you for your time, and we'll have you back next week as well. But how's retirement treating you all right? Are you busier than you were when you were working?
I'm as busy as I was when I was teaching. So, yeah, life is really good.
All right. You wear it well. That's Dr. Bob Chase. This is Energy Insights, brought to you by the Southeastern Ohio Oil and Gas Association. Johnny Wharf in another chance meeting with Dr. Bob Chase, a retired professor, Merida College, and specifically, just for the listeners, a little background on you in terms of how you got into the industry, where you grew up, where you went to college, why you like Penn State, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I grew up in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and
starting to clear up, right?
That's right. Yep. Home of the office, and I got into petroleum engineering by happen chance. Penn State offered me a scholarship in mining engineering, and I had relatives that had black lung disease, and I said, I don't want to do that. And the very next day, I got a scholarship offer in petroleum engineering. I thought, hey, this sounds really interesting. This is back in the 70s.
Sure.
This is a long time ago. And I thought, man, this sounds like a great career. So I went, accepted the scholarship, got my bachelor's degree, worked a summer, and then decided to get my master's degree. And I had an advisor that said, you really ought to think about teaching. And I stayed on, got my PhD, got some work experience in between degrees, and then started teaching at WVU. And then Marietta College offered me a job as department head, and I took that and held it for 37 years.
Wow, that's unbelievable. So all in all, looking back, wouldn't change a thing, right?
I wouldn't change a thing. No, this is home, man.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Let's talk a little. Let's get into the meat of what we're doing. And I think, again, last week we talked a little bit about gas prices, and that would be natural gas prices and or gasoline prices as it relates to just the consumer any given day. Sometimes it's too late to lock in prices, but those that did are feeling it now, right? Or knowing it now.
Oh, yeah. Ohio is, I don't know if we're unique to a lot of states, but we have a program in Ohio. If you go online and look and just Google apples to apples prices for natural gas and electricity, and you'll pull up a page that a table of all the different companies in the state of Ohio that offer you the ability to lock in a price for your natural gas or for your electricity. And one thing right now, the price of energy is very high. Natural gas prices on the spot market's running about $7 an MCF, $6 to $7 an MCF. I'm currently paying for my home on Fifth Street $3.04 an MCF.
Sounds like somebody that knew what they were doing, right?
Yeah. And it's because I was able to lock in my price through an aggregation plan that the city of Marietta has.
Okay.
And if you go down to the offices in the city, the mayor's office basically, and ask for information on the gas aggregation plan and electricity aggregation plan, they'll give you some numbers to contact. And you can call those numbers, and you'll have an opportunity to maybe get out of the contract that you're in right now, whatever you're paying. And I know some people are paying as much as $9 an MCF, and get into the city's aggregation plan, where gas prices are now $3.04, guaranteed through November of 2024. And electricity prices are 4.3 cents per kilowatt hour, compared to some people that I know are paying 9, 10, and 11 cents per kilowatt hour. And this is done through a plan available to residents of the city of Marietta. And all you have to do is a little exploration, get those phone numbers, make a phone call, and then just follow the steps that you'll learn from those providers to lock into the aggregation plans.
Yeah, our job here on Energy Insights is to learn something new every week, and we not only just learned something new, we might have just learned something new and saved a lot of money, so we thank you for that very much.
Oh, you bet. I'll take any commission that you all want to pay me for that, too. So,
Dr. Bob Chase is our guest, and we thank him for taking some time with us to make us a little smarter about the oil and gas industry. The number down at the city building, 740-373-1347, that's a guess, but I'm pretty sure that's what that number is down there, so take advantage of the information provided here today. And thanks to Southeastern Ohio Oil and Gas Association for making this program possible.
Thank you for listening to Energy Insights, brought to you by the Southeastern Ohio Oil and Gas Association. Tune in every Saturday morning on WMOA Local Radio. JAWS Country, and ESPN Radio, as Johnny Wharf brings you your local and inside perspectives going on in the oil and gas industry right here in the Mid-Ohio Valley.